Time now is 5:30. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. At this time, we ask if you would please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please join us for the pledge. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight on our monthly school board meeting. We do have a quorum this time. Let me see, are there any changes to tonight's agenda?
We just need to add one delegation. I'm sorry that got left off the agenda. Ms. Amy Connor.
Board note that we're adding Ms. Amy Connor, who was left off of the regular board agenda. So this time we'd like to entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Ricky, second. Kobe, are there any further discussions?
What's this topic?
I'm sorry?
What's the topic?
What's the topic?
Support for sports.
Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? We are approved. Next item on the agenda will be our minutes for the February 9th board meeting. We've all had the opportunity to look over these minutes. At this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Kobe, second. Brad, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We are approved. Next item on the agenda will be our January financials. This time, our CSFO. Yes.
Yes, sir. These are the financials for January of 2026. We ended January with a 4.83 month reserve. We will probably slow down on our revenue some once we get the last of the property tax posted that came in the end of January. But we are in great shape financially at this point.
Okay.
All statements have been reconciled and revenues and expenses are in line with what we budgeted.
Can you say a 4.8?
4.83.
4.83. Right. With that being said, at this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to approve January 2025 financial. Ms. Mark, second. Mr. Brackens, are there any further discussions? No further discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We are approved. Okay, next item number 6. We have some delegates wishing to address the board. I want to caution our delegates. Your time is 3 minutes, and please direct your comments to the chairman. Mr. Travis Williams.
First and foremost, good evening. My name is Travis Williams. I appreciate the city allowing me to come speak tonight. I'm here tonight because recent actions involving members of the board have raised serious concern about whether the governance and policies adopted in this board are being followed. Before I begin, I also want to acknowledge that I was reminded that public comments are limited to 3 minutes and that speakers should understand and follow the board policy. That's absolutely fair, although I'll not be able to cover all the topics in 3 minutes. But if we're going to emphasize the importance of following policy, then it's equally important that everyone in this room, including members of this board, understand and follows the policies that govern the school system. Because policies only work when they apply to everyone. Chapter 2 of the board's governance policy clearly states that the school board establishes policy and the individual members of this board have authority to take official action only when acting as part of a board in public session. Authority belongs to the board acting collectively, not as individual members. Section 2A of that same policy states the board is responsible for selecting the superintendent and supporting that person in the discharge of his and her duties. Supporting the superintendent means allowing administrators to make decisions based on policies, facts, and their professional judgment. However, there have been documented situations where a board member approached the superintendent demanding that specific punishment be carried out against a group of students. When the superintendent determined that the request punishment was not appropriate based on the facts of the situation, the response from the board member was that they would remember that and the future items that would come before the board would be approval that their vote would be reflect that. That is not supporting the superintendent in the discharge of their duties. This is an attempt to use authority of the board's vote to pressure administrative decision. Section 3G of the same governance policy also states the board members must refer to complaints and inquiries to the proper school authorities and abstain from individual council action. Yet we have seen situations where a board member inserted themselves directly into matters involving students and operations. At a recent school event, a board member approached the venue security personnel in an attempt to have them intervene with students instead of referring the concern to the school administration. That's not the role of a board member. Chapter 3 of the School Board Policy Manual, Safe and Secure School Policies, also states that individuals who are not students or employees are not permitted to be on the school campus during the school hours without approval of the principal's office. And the same policy states that everyone on campus not in accordance with that policy may be declared trespasser and have to be asked to leave. A board member entering a campus does not override that policy. Board members are not allowed to be above the policy in the school system. And I would challenge the administration here in this room tonight as well. If someone enters your campus without following protocol, regardless of who they are, that policies on those boards still apply. Policies only matter if they're enforced consistently. And if anyone in this room believes the comments are directed for them, I would simply encourage them to take a closer look at the policies that we've just discussed. Finally, I want to address something else that deserves reconsideration. Every member on this board is appointed, not elected by the citizens of this community. Yet collectively this board has made a decision to pay themselves approximately $21,000 each year. For many in this community, that is difficult to understand. $21,000 could go towards textbooks. It could go towards classroom supplies. It could support teachers who are already stretching the limits resources every single day. Everyone in this room says they're here for the kids, for the school system, and for this community. So I would challenge this board to show that. Revisit the policy. Remove the compensation. And direct those funds back to the classrooms where students and teachers will actually see the benefit. Because the first responsibility of this board should always be educational welfare of the students in this school system. Lastly, my question to this board is very simple. Will this board commit to enforcing the policies that it has adopted and ensuring every member of this board operates within these policies moving forward? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Amy Connor?
First of all, I'd like to thank y'all for allowing me to speak tonight. I'm just going to kind of follow up what Mr. Williams spoke on. Our girls travel on February 24th to Montgomery for the Elite Eight. Such a big accomplishment for those kids, for the coaches. They worked hard for every single bit of it. Our girls were struggling. Absolutely, yes, they were. And they needed our support. Our fans were into it. Our students decided to stand up and get into it. I personally asked the students to stand up and get into it because I've seen what kind of difference it makes. It makes a huge difference for our girls. The girls actually turned around on the court, raised their hands, wanted the crowd to get into it. But certain comments by a board member were made for the students to move, which they obliged and separated so the court could still be seen. Went up to get a security guard. Can't do anything about it. There's no sign posted. They can't stand. They can't cheer. They weren't doing anything wrong. You know, wanting these kids to be reprimanded for standing up and supporting each other. They're with each other hours a day. They're each other's support system. They have to have support. Not only from us, not only from the board, from each other. So my thing is tonight is if we can't support our kids, that's what a board member is supposed to do. Be here to support our kids. Support this school system. If we can't stand up and support our kids, ask them to move, want these kids to be reprimanded for everything they've worked for all these years. Because, you know, if you're reprimanded and you're in Beta Club, guess what? You're going to get kicked out of Beta Club. You've worked for that all these years. For simply standing up and cheering. So I ask the board tonight to please let these kids know, commend them for what they've done. They cheered each other on. That's what they're supposed to do. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda will be our superintendent's report. Let's see.
All right, thank you, Reverend Clausell. I'm going to take a moment to recognize Reverend Clausell. He was recognized as being the longest serving member on the Alabama Association of School Boards, AASB. And so last week at the ASSB state meeting, they recognized Reverend Clausell. And not only him, but we get to enjoy it as a board with a free meal. But he has really put in many, many hours, and we appreciate what you do for the students, not only here for Geneva City, but he goes over and beyond for the students in Alabama. So thank you so much. You got a little token of What an honor. Thank you. And this is him being presented with a proclamation from AASB's Executive Director, Ms. Sally Smith. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was wondering why all y'all showed up.
That's right.
Let's see, can we get a picture?
Okay, yes. Can we get a picture?
Okay. Thank you.
Can you shift this one, please? Sorry. Facebook.
They just know that I love a photo,
Yeah.
which I don't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Well, it is in spring, so academics are really on a roll with assessment season. We begin assessments tomorrow at the high school, and I know Mr. Cruz will tell us more about that. Sports are in action as we speak, everything. So I tell you, May is coming, and it's right around the corner. I can't believe it's already almost mid part of March, and so good things are happening in all of our buildings. With that, I'll ask for reports. Mr. Justice?
I'll be real quick. We've got a few things going on right now, safety-wise, that we are stressing. Good news was today I got a call finally that our radios are here. They're
Awesome.
being programmed this time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So we're happy to see that. We've also got our windscreen at Mulkey. We're going to windscreen the fence on the playground over there. That's also coming in. We're fixing to start on our window tent to tint every one of these windows on this campus where you can't see in, you can only see out. Ms. C and I visited, we got to go to Montgomery last Monday for a school dog training, which is our new school safety platform. It's swapping over from inside. A lot of good things in that, ease of use. They really listen to the teachers. We met with the assistant principals today to look at it and update our emergency operations to go in. So we thought it was a good time to look at that again, see where we need to update, and we had our first meeting on that today. So a lot of safety stuff going on today.
Thank you, Mr. Justice. Ms. Wright?
Our pre-K lottery registration ends tomorrow, and the pre-K lottery is Wednesday. Children can still be registered after that, but the lottery will take place Wednesday morning at the elementary school. And pre-K playground equipment, the shade structure had been ordered, and hopefully it'll be here within the next few weeks, we hope. Budget amendments, Ms. C sent out some new final numbers. We thought we had final numbers, but the state changed those, so budget amendments are still underway. And IEP season's around the corner. Rocking and rolling.
All right, Ms. Kim?
I'll echo Erica on the budget amendment. It's hard to do when you still don't have all the final numbers from the state, but we have until June to finalize it, so we'll hope that they get those to us soon. But we're working on what we can, and then we go back and redo it when we have to. So.
Thank you. Ms. Mixon?
So since our last board meeting, we've had our book fair. During Read Across America Week, we had several volunteer readers come, and I'm happy to say that we had some high schoolers come, and one in particular, she wants to be a teacher now. So that's exciting, I know. So we're recruiting a little bit through that. But Family Night was a success. We ended the week with our book character parade and got to see all the babies dressed up, and that was fun. We're in the thick of ACAP season right now. Our teachers are, really preparing our kids for that. We are focusing on engagement during that practice time, making sure that, we're using whiteboards, games, anything that it takes to make sure that they're paying attention and ready for that test in April. I'm just going to echo pre-K lottery tomorrow at Mulkey. And Wednesday. And March 17th and 18th, we will have 4th grade science ACAP, so that's right up upon us. And we're just trying to hang in there until spring break.
Thank you, Ms. Mixon. Mr. White?
Yes,
With
ma'am.
middle school.
Teachers are always under pressure, that goes without saying, but they feel it more this time of year than anything. You've heard it already mentioned. They work all year long with the kids, and they want them to do well. But as we inch closer to ACAP testing, the nerves, they skyrocket. So keeping the kids calm and learning, keeping the teachers calm and learning, and we're 12 days away from the ACAPS, and that's a big deal for us at the middle school. That's where we get the majority of our school grades. So we're looking for good things and hoping and praying we achieve them again this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Mr. Cruz with Geneva High School.
You mentioned we have the ACT tomorrow. Sophomores and juniors will be taking that. We've been working hard towards that. Ms. Bynum's done a good job getting everything organized. Prayers that we don't have too much sickness. There's a stomach bug going around, and several people went out today, so we hope that they're there tomorrow ready to go. Dual enrollment meeting tonight, so if you got a student that's dual enrolling or wanting to dual enroll, head on up to the auditorium when you finish here. Enterprise State will be here talking about that. We've had over 500 courses this year taken by our students at the high school in dual enrollment, so that continues to grow. You mentioned spring sports. They're happening every day except Wednesday and Sunday, so if you're looking for something to do, come out and support our teams. Cheer trials coming up, prom coming up, and I just wanted to commend Coach Bixby. Couldn't be here tonight. He had surgery today, and he didn't mind me sharing that, but his girls on an Elite 8 run, they had a great year, a great season, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think they were going to make it that far. I'm just going to be honest. Early in the season, they were struggling. Things didn't seem to be going real well for them, and they were able to hit their stride, got on a run, and made an Elite 8 run with a group that gelled at the right time. And I want to thank these young men that are here tonight and these people that supported them. Thank you for speaking up, because we're in this together. We're here to support our student athletes, support our teams, and there's always something to do, and I appreciate that. Everywhere we go, people say, y'all have great support for your programs, and it says a lot about your community, and we want to continue to have that in our program. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. All right, and Career Tech Director, Ms. Wendy Metz.
So February was extremely busy, kind of winding down and going into competition mode. But our first CTE Trades Day was a great success. 7th and 9th graders attended and were very engaged with hands-on learning, and we could not have done that without our industry partners, and they did a fantastic job. Very informative and engaging, and I appreciate Ms. Henderson, the career coach, for helping coordinate those rotations. She made that run fairly smoothly. And Health Science had a local competition here, and we had first place winners with Levi Dodson and Sidra Millsap, and third place was Taylor Wright and Taquan Howard. Mr. Van has competition this Friday at the Farm Center, and FBLA, we have 8 members that will be going to Mobile in April. Ms. Galloway had 17 students to earn their ServSafe food handler, and they helped with the Lions Club Pancake Supper. If y'all went out there to participate, you probably saw some red aprons, and they will be helping with the spring fling at the Senior Center that's coming up.
Hey, I want to say on that Trades Day, Ricky and Wendy, we had flooring, plumbing, electrical, Mr. Don did, and HVAC. We had multiple things, and the kids really enjoyed the flooring. They enjoyed putting down that floor. I thought it was neat because it was hands-on, I guess, to get that opportunity. So it was really cool to see. So.
All right, thank you for those reports, and that finalizes those.
Okay, thank you. We have turned it over to the superintendent for her recommendation.
Okay, so the first item we have is based on recommendations from our last audit, Geneva City Schools is creating the central office bookkeeper / payroll and HR position to strengthen internal controls and ensure proper separation of duties. This role will work with and under the oversight of the Chief School Financial Officer to distribute accounts payable, payroll, and personnel-related responsibilities among multiple staff members. This job description has been reviewed by our auditors and meets the recommended changes in order to be compliant with our audit standards and accountability. With that, the superintendent recommends the Geneva City Board of Education approve the job description for central office bookkeeper.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we would approve the office position of central office bookkeeper. At this time, we'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Kobe, second.
Got a question on it.
Okay, we'll do the second.
What?
Second, Ricky. Are there any further discussion or questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We talked in our meeting, me and Ms. C, about the state offers a ASBO, a training to certify them in all the new regulations or the state requires. talked to a lady at ASBO. She said it costs about $357 for them to go through the whole thing online. They also have 3 meetings a year for continuing education where they can go and get it there at no charge other than for the cost of the room. I think it would be nice for us to, it takes them the state gives them 5 years to get it done. She said normally it takes a year and a half to 2 years to do it. But that would give them all the extra, not only what Kim would teach them, but also what the state regulations and everything are. And I think it would be nice to add that they, in a 5-year period, on the school, the school would pay for it, but to finish that ASBO class.
Probably add that language.
Right.
Any other
If that's okay
discussion?
with the board.
Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Approved unanimously.
The next item, the superintendent recommends that the Geneva City Board of Education approve the hire of Mr. Jared White as the Geneva City School Special Education Coordinator.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we would approve the hiring of Mr. Jared White as the Special Education Coordinator effectively July 1st, 2026. At this time, we'd like to entertain a motion for approval. Kobe, second, Brad. Any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. We are approved.
All right, this next one, I'm okay if y'all give a thumbs down to. This hurts my heart. One of the best I've ever seen. But she's my friend and she might run me out of town if I don't. The superintendent recommends accepting the retirement of Amanda Precise, as known as Mandy Precise, as teacher at Mulkey Elementary School. One of the best I've ever seen.
What's the effective date on that?
That would be at the end of the school year.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we will accept the retirement of Ms. Amanda Precise effective the end of the school year. This time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. Ms. Tawana, second. Mr. Brackens, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Approved.
Thank you. And also another good one, the superintendent recommends accepting the resignation of Ms. Crystal Hawthorne as teacher at Mulkey Elementary School.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we will accept the resignation of Ms. Crystal Hawthorne effective in
At the end of the school
the
year.
school year. This time, we'd like to entertain a motion for approval. Kobe, second. Brad, are there any further discussions? No further discussions. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Approved.
That's all I have.
That's it. Well, allow me to thank everyone for coming out. Allow me to say one thing about this board. I really believe that this board cares about our students, and if we don't, then we're probably in the wrong business. I also want to tell you that if anyone acts outside of this board, they're not acting on behalf of the board. The board requires 3 individuals to make up a board. Other than that, that's an individual that's not representing the board. So I just want to encourage each and every one of us to continue to work together for the benefit of our students, because that's our number one goal here, is to make sure that our students get the education that they deserve. Make sure that we provide educators that's doing the job, and make sure that we are able to get everything that they need in order to be successful. That's our number one goal. I really believe that this board has that number one goal. I know our administrators do so, and as we can see, our community shares in that. Please feel free to come again anytime you want. Don't wait until there's an issue. Come, check us out. Our next board meeting, our next meeting will be at City Hall. And going forward, we'll have them there at City Hall, where we'll have much room where you can come in and share with us with the opportunities. We're taking our boardroom, for those who may not know, we're taking that and we're turning it into a couple of administrative offices, which means that we're growing. And I'm grateful for our superintendents and guidance that she's providing. Grateful for the board, all that they do. I certainly appreciate, and I'm sure the board echoes, appreciate you coming out and sharing your heart with us, and we certainly take it seriously. With that being said, board, yes, ma'am. Okay. 6. But there is a motion on the floor, second, to go into the executive session. All in favor, say aye. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's going to happen right now, and the purpose is for
Students.
good name and character. Good name and character. So the purpose of going into executive session is to be able to discuss some sensitive matter. Once we finish the executive session, then we will come out of executive session, and at that point, if there's nothing needed to be done, then we'll dismiss.
I have a question. Are the students that are going to be discussed, will their parents be invited to this meeting?
Well, I don't know if any students are being discussed.
That's what you said with students.
Good name and character is what I said.
She said students.
Are you discussing students?
Well, I think their parents should be there for that as well.
Their parents didn't hear.
Do you have a list?
She has the list.
Do you have a list of students that's being discussed?
I have her.
So the board's going to assure that if students are discussed, then parents are going to be here.
I don't have to discuss students by name, just good name. I don't have to.
You're not discussing names.
I don't have to discuss names of students.
Okay.
For instance, if my child's name comes up, I expect to be called. So I just want to make sure that you're telling me if a student's name
Gotcha.
comes up, their parents will be here.
No names will be called.
Perfect.
Well, if you're discussing students that's on a list, I still.
Well, I haven't seen the list, so I'm not looking at the list. She said we're not discussing the list names, so we're not discussing names. So that was
You're
those.
discussing the students that's listed on the list.
Ma'am,
their character.
I don't have the list, so I don't know the names.
So are we burning the list? I mean, what are we doing?
I didn't
with
know
the
there was a list, so.
Miss C just said she.
Yeah, I know now, but I didn't know that there was a list. So
I'll ask
we're not
you, Miss C,
discussing.
are you going to bring out that list in this meeting?
That will not, no.
No, we're not going to do
We
that.
won't.
We're not going to do, I promise you, we're not going to do that.
We just want to be certain, and I'm just want to be certain, that's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So with that being said, I ask that you would please exit the room. The board and the school board attorney and
They're not named. They're not named.
That's it.
It's a very how are you?
What's that? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Miss C.
I'll get it, it will have to come out.
Take notes about the journal when we come out.
I mean, I can stay in the back, but if there's.
Oh, yes, you were at the game and tried
Yes, sir. That's a great trip. I've been there.
It's amazing how quickly. But I talked to him.
You have my vodka.
Yes,
it Thank you.
Wasn't it awesome?
It's awesome. It's very awesome. Let me get out of here.